Hi, Mason here. Welcome to If You Live It's YouTube page or wherever you're viewing this, wherever it's been shared, whatever platform you're seeing this on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about the steps in general in the book. I don't know how long this will go. I don't even know what's going to be shared. This entire conversation has been surrendered over that it not even be the words of Mason coming to you, that what comes directly to you are the words from the Holy Spirit. The beautiful thing about this book, in its essence, is I penned it, but I didn't write it. This book is filled with so much truth because it's not just my personal experience of life that's getting relayed. It's the experience and wisdom of Jesus and Krishna and the Buddha and Lao Tzu and others. It's the teachings of Byron Katie and the work we allude to. It's Dr. David R. Hawkins and his entire life of the contributions that he and his wife and his particular world gave us. This book is truth on truth on truth on truth. And it's also my life journey. It's open, it's available, it's free. And there's nothing in here made up. There's nothing in here wished. There's nothing in here dreamed. There's nothing in here regurgitated. There's nothing in here that isn't coming as a firsthand experience of something. That's what makes this book so incredible. The words that were written in the first draft of this book came directly from the Holy Spirit. And then the editing process was even more of a miracle. And from the editing process in the first draft of this book, where I was just but a channel for the words in a way that I can't even remember writing them, to be quite honest. And every time I read them, it's like the first time reading them, even though I know them and there's familiarity with them, it's still this gift that's given to me every time that I look at it, like seeing it for the first time, but this deep familiarity at the same time. It's beautiful and wonderful, and it is something that I hope is in this world for years and years and years and years to come, that grows and turns into meetings not run by me, but run by other people around the world, around the United States. And quite honestly, there's nothing more in this life I would rather do than sit here with you and sit here with people in person and travel the world talking about God, talking about the realization of God as the self, relaying to people how to have your own imminent experience with divinity, how to work these steps, how to apply them to your business, how to apply them to your family, how to apply them to being a father, a friend, a teacher, how to use these steps to overcome burnout. These steps are applicable, and I didn't create these steps. They're just recontextualized here because of the value of what I actually saw them to be after working them for alcoholism. There's a point in time where life had taken me to such a place that I'll get into in another video where it was death or choose to say yes to God and find myself in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and working these steps and working a program of recovery, and then, which is a big part of this book, talking about that and expressing even why this book came to be from that, because post working the steps, I realized that for the first time in my life and actually working a program of recovery, I was doing something that I had always searched for how to do, which was live like Jesus. Simply, how do you actually be in this world but not of it? And I found myself through serving my community in other places of service and loving without opinions and working these steps that my life was changing dramatically. And it continued to evolve and continue to evolve to the place where one day it was never the same again, where Mason ceased to exist. And this book is a byproduct of that life and of all these different things that were part of the journey to get here. And they're shared in such a way that it's an actual program you can work for free. I don't want your money. I don't want your follows. I don't want your likes. All I want you to do is know this is available, and then choose for yourself to know God for yourself. That's what this book is. That's if you live it. And the whole title, I didn't even come up with the title. That was the Holy Spirit. A Pathway to Freedom, Holy Spirit. The way the steps are recontextualized, Holy Spirit. The different things that came into my life at the times when they were needed to help provide what needed to be next, Holy Spirit. There's this beautiful truth about God that there's not one way to God, but yet there's only one way to God. Choice. You have to choose God. There are many pathways. And if your life so informs you, or your intent so informs you to check out some of the different kind of classically defined ones in Hinduism, then when you look into Buddhism, it's an entire pathway designed, structured to not have to come back here again. But this is a pathway for being in the world, but not of it. This is a pathway where we use the heart, where we go through the mind, where we use surrender and service as major components of it. But it's logical. You can use reason as your jump-off point. You don't have to use the word God. You don't even have to know or how to define a higher power. But if you've ever experienced even the slightest moment of peace, of joy, of love, start with that. If you don't have a God, if you don't have a definition for a higher power, start with there is something greater out of which we all arise and are a part of that can't be articulated perfectly. That can be your jump-off point. That can be your reasonable, logical deduction side of where am I going to start from? How am I going to do this if you're telling yourself, I don't even believe in God? I don't care if you believe in God. I'm not asking you to believe in God. I don't believe in God. I know God is real. There's a big difference between the understanding side and the choice for belief and choosing God and choosing God and choosing God and choosing God. Another word for God, choosing truth and choosing truth and choosing truth. And arriving at a place where there is no need to say, I believe God is real. I don't believe God is real because it's transcended belief into a knowingness. Because the way the world is experienced is no longer from being a slave to the mind in any way. And I can honestly tell you, this book, as a gift to the world from the Holy Spirit, from God, from whatever terms that you want to use that would be similar or not similar, from a power greater than yourself, from the universe. This book, if your goal in this life is to reach enlightenment, can be a compass for you, can take you all the way to the door. If your goal is to live like Jesus, to experience happiness, to have joy, to feel satisfied, to have a relationship with someone where you no longer want from them and it's just about giving, to be at a place where you're able to take a deep breath with a smile on your face, or to just find a respite from the busy world, this book is for you. This book is so much truth wrapped into one that it's hard to even describe. If you even have this book in your home, if you regularly check in with this, if you watch this videos, you've already begun this process where your life is going to change. Now, this book, in general, is designed as basically the first third is my story. It's about the book. It is answering some questions, getting some information up front so we can set a context for jump-off points when we get into the last 2/3, which are the steps. Each chapter represents a different step, 12 chapters, 12 steps. And through the months of January, February, and March of 2025, we've released and are releasing these weekly podcast form on YouTube, like we're doing here, on other video streaming platforms, and on our website. And what we're doing is we're giving everyone an opportunity, despite having money to buy the book or any of the other books that are coming out, you have this in your grasp, in your reach, to start now, to start today, without delay. If You Live It is a guidepost. It's a benchmark. It's an opportunity. It's a gift. And that's why we're giving it away. The entire book is my entire life leading up to the moment of right now, relaying to you how not to find yourself in hell, how not to have to do what I did, how not to have to be miserable, how not to have to be filled with anger and fear and remorse and guilt and shame and apathy, resentments, desires, cravings, wants, how to live a life of courage and acceptance and joy and even that word prosperity, which carries some weird connotations with it. I'm not here to be a pastor to you, to promote a religion, to tell you that spirituality is better or less than, to tell you to go left or right or up or down. We have no political views or opinions here. The goal here is to be of service to you. This book is of service to you. If you have a desire to know God for yourself, truthfully, not because someone else said it, not because you read it in a book, not because on a particular day of a week you go to a place and someone else tells you about a book and what a book says, but you want to know for yourself, is God real? Not a belief where you choose to believe it because that's part of your religion. I mean the regular experience of the presence of God filling up your vision in a way that you can't even imagine right now. This book is for you. This book, I hope, is a gift I'm also leaving for my son and for the generations to come. It's a gift to the world for anyone that has a desire to grow closer to truth, to find out if happiness is actually for them. Is it possible to experience regular joy? Is it possible to not just state something I'm grateful about because I heard that works, but to actually come from a place of gratitude where when you lay down at night and you look up and you see a roof over your head, you're actually grateful for it. You're grateful for the ups and the downs, the lefts and the rights, the in-betweens, the arounds, because you actually have a connection with knowing that what's happening is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Everything in this world happens for us. That's a place you'll get to in working these steps where it's not just words you're hearing. You'll witness that. You'll have that meeting with that boss who railroads you because they're insecure about your performance, and you'll realize exactly what the words of Jesus meant when he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." You'll have your own experience of it. You'll realize that there is no point in holding a grudge, and you'll understand for yourself and then know the reality of why we forgive and why it's for us. And if we forgive internally and we make and turn that page, why the world changes. This entire book is built around surrender, forgiveness, and gratitude. Surrender everything all the time, no matter what, to thee, O Lord. Forgive everyone all the time, no matter what, because of thee, O Lord. And watch how gratitude presents itself for a life that you don't even know is possible right now. You don't have to be a particular religion for this. You can have a particular religion for this. This is adjacent to, this is not to take you away from anything or to discredit anything. Personally, in my life, I never found a connection with God in a church service. Ever. I found moments where it felt like things were lighter, where I had some hope, where I felt motivated. But the reality is no preacher, no priest, no imam, no one can give you an experience of God imminent. You have to choose God. You have to choose surrender. You have to choose forgiveness. You have to set your intent towards nothing else matters but chasing after truth. This book can help you with that. And everything we said can be a possibility in your life, just like it is in mine. And the people that have already worked the steps are reporting the same thing. They're finding themselves at the doorstep of being love for the world, being the change which they wished wants to see in it, finding themselves in unconditional love as a reality for how they experience everything happening around them, and having the opportunity at the final doorway to continue moving forward towards enlightenment or not. This book is for you. You watching this. And that's why it's free. Many blessings.